Well, thank you all very much. This is an annual tradition to meet with the public, and in addition to this forum, I try and get out to other community organizations as well to let people know why you should make an investment in your community. And that's what we're really asking when we put bonds on the ballot in April. We're asking you to make that commitment to the town that you live in, the place that you love, and make sure that we can maintain the infrastructure that gives us the quality of life that we all enjoy here in Anchorage. So appreciate over the number of years that you have been very, very supportive of both municipal and school district bonds, and urging once again that you consider strongly investing in your community. One of the reasons that we feel very confident about putting bonds forward is the fact that Anchorage right now is a very financially strong city in so many different areas. This is something that has taken an awful lot of hard work, but we now have an elite status amongst cities in America. 6 consecutive years with multi-million-dollar budget surpluses shows that each department has taken very seriously the fact that when they collect your property taxes, they're going to try and deliver services efficiently, effectively, and if they can do it without spending every dime, they're going to do that. Budget surpluses has allowed us to do one-time expenses without going back to the taxpayers, like police academies, fire academies, and other one-time items. We have a AAA bond rating by Standard & Poor's. That's the highest rating a city can achieve. Out of the 4,000 cities rated by Standard & Poor's, only 300 and some have a AAA bond rating. We're truly an elite company. And it's because of the different things that we've structured within our policies that really make the difference with the bond rating. They don't just look at one time, did you do good this year, but have you enshrined in your ordinances and your policies, methodologies that will make sure that you stay solvent well into the future. And as we look down at the team in front of me here, you saw the introduction of the folks who work for the municipality, as well as municipal manager Vacalis. This is the team that is responsible for getting us to this very elite status. And so I'd like to give them a round of applause, if you would. They've done a great, great job. And some of the trends that you see, reducing spending growth. Had we stayed on the same spending path of the previous 6 years to our administration, we'd be spending about $100 million more in the municipal budget. So we've reduced that spending growth, but at the same time, focused the spending so we're not losing services, we're maintaining a high quality of life. Our MOA Trust Fund has done outstanding. We've had years where we've outperformed all other funds, comparable funds in the state, and the 5-year average right around 10% return. We've been getting accolades from other places, and it's always, as in my last couple of months as mayor, one of the great things you get to do is brag a little bit about your city and how other people are recognizing Anchorage. The 9th place best place in America to live by Kiplinger.com. Kiplinger looks at dozens of categories as they make those determinations, so a very high compliment. One of the best cities in America to find a job, and we're, I think, right around 5% unemployment, which is considered full employment in the statistical world. So a great place to live, great place to work, and a great place to play, given the great setting that we live in and the attributes and assets that we've developed here. So let's talk about bonds. One of the goals of my administration, and one of the things that Standard & Poor's appreciates, is the fact that we've gradually been trying to reduce bonded indebtedness by only putting out bonds that are less than the amount we're retiring every year. So you can see the curve. Last year and this year we're up a little bit more than 12 and 13, but still right within that range of low 30s, high 20s, and it's less than what we're retiring every year, which you can see at the top. We're requesting a total of 33.7. We're retiring about 35.7. So again, we're going to continue that trend, retiring more than we're incurring, and that has a great net effect on your overall debt and on your taxes as well. So we've got 5 bond propositions. Proposition 2 deals with area-wide medical. We've got area-wide facility capital improvements, Park and Rec service area. And it should be noted, Park and Rec does not cover the entire municipality. Eagle River Chugiak has their own Park and Rec service area, so they get to vote within their own area how much they want to spend on their Park and Rec services. Same with Girdwood. So it gives them some self-autonomy. They, being somewhat detached from the bowl, they like to feel that they're able to make some decisions on their own, and we've at the Assembly and administration level have agreed with that over the years, and they've been good stewards of their ability to tax themselves. Proposition 5, Anchorage Roads and Drainage Service Area. These, of course, are the meat and potato bonds, fixing roads and fixing drainage. It's a constant struggle and constant challenge in a subarctic environment, but it's something that, again, the voters have made a commitment to because we all drive on these roads and we all want good drainage. And finally, the Anchorage Fire Service Area, various equipment, and to keep our fire department having the best equipment possible so they can do the best job whenever one of us has a need for public safety services. We want to make sure they have the best equipment. So let's talk a little bit about what this means in terms of dollars to you. And this breaks down just what bonds per $100,000 of assessed valuation means, and then if there's operations and maintenance costs associated with those bonds as well, which we do sometimes because it's one thing to build a road, it's another thing to maintain a road, and we want to make sure that we have the right operation and maintenance monies when we do build infrastructure. So if you add them all up, you'll see that the grand total comes to, for an average home, about $300,000. You're looking at about $45 total for all the improvements we'll be making. So really not an exorbitant amount by any means. In fact, a pretty modest increase on a $300,000 home. And again, remember, we're retiring bonds as well. So when we calculate the overall budget, that factors in as well. Proposition 2, this is our public safety and public transportation bonds. As you can see, we've got radio console rehab. We have an area-wide network, so all of our public safety personnel can not only communicate with themselves, but communicate with the state public safety officials as well and federal officials. We want to make sure that that's a viable system. It does take upkeep. It does take replacement of equipment. We've got ambulance replacement, and we've got cardiac monitor replacement in that one as well. And then the E911 upgrade, this is under a renewable contract. It's a 10-year contract renewal. Under public transportation, we're going to continue to improve bus stops. We do have, every year, we replace fleet, and of course our transit centers, again, all needing work, usually every year. So a modest amount in public transportation. That bond total is just about $6.7 million. The area-wide facilities, we try and put all facilities under one category because we don't try and put something into a wrong category. So you've got code upgrades, you've got the Chester Creek Sports Complex, the library automated handling, and the Anchorage Golf Course needs repairs as well. These are all facilities we own. We have an obligation to maintain those facilities wherever we can. The Chester Creek Sports Complex, if you haven't seen the plan for this, what it does is take Mulcahy Park, which right now exists right here, and it moves it to the west so that you've got continuous parking and pedestrian access between the two main facilities, the Sullivan Arena and Mulcahy Baseball Stadium, and also great parking and access into Ben Boeke and the Anchorage track, the sports stadium there to the south. So it's one of those things that will greatly improve traffic flow in that area, also greatly improve the parking and pedestrian experience in that area. Park and Rec service area bonds, the ones that have gotten the most attention this year, of course, are the various bridges that our trail system crosses streams in many locations. Some of the bridges have been found to be defective, and some of them after 20, 30 years of use. There was some structural defects. Originally, water has kind of got in between the laminated seams, and we had an incident where a heavy truck was on one of the bridges doing tree branch clearing, and the bridge did collapse. And so we want to, over the next several years, tackle several of these bridges a year if we can, get them fixed up, and if we do them right, they'll be the kind of structures that will last easily 30 years into the future. So again, all these trails with their bridges that we've enjoyed for the last 30 plus years, we want to make sure that the next generation can also have that same access to the beautiful parks and trails in our community. And then Green Bay Trail, you can see the trails on the right. This is not untypical. We've been very successful, thanks to both the state legislature and the voters over the last number of years, to be able to repave many miles of the Tony Knowles Coastal Trail, and the Chester Creek Trail and others are on the drawing board for this summer. But again, given our environment, this is something we want to make sure we maintain a commitment to, because we all enjoy these trails. And when they get like this, as the picture on the right shows, not as enjoyable. So we hope you'll support certainly Proposition 4. This is Proposition 5, which again, kind of small print, but you can see that again, these are just meat and potato roads and flooding, glaciation, drainage, matching programs. You may see a road in your area on there, but what we try and do every year is we look at what the community councils have brought forward to us as their suggestions in their neighborhoods, as what they see as critical needs. Our Public Works Department then goes out every year. They do an inspection and evaluation. They've also got on their list already roads that maybe didn't get funded in previous years and have risen to the top and become a critical need. So it's a very structured process, a very strong evaluation goes into this. It's not ever just random that we pick roads. We really try and get those ones with the greatest need first, and we try and make sure that it covers all areas of town so that every assembly district has a critical need. We want to take care of making sure that they all get served. We also match this, of course, with state grants. State grants, as we know this year, are going to be very challenging. We know the budget crisis. There's been estimates of a capital budget of $150 million, which is literally a tenth of what there was just a year or two ago, a 20th of it. But again, they really like the matching programs where we're putting skin into the game, and so those ones that are listed up there as matching, we do try and match both federal and state monies. And again, those have been the ones that we've been most successful at over the years because they do like the fact that we're joining in this. So that's a $17 million bond. Again, these are ones that the voters have always been very supportive of. We hope you still will. Proposition 6, this is the Anchorage Fire Service area, fire protection bonds. This year we're replacing fire engines. This will replace 3 engine companies and may also include the various tools and equipment, hoses that go with these apparatus. The engine companies are the most used, the most common piece of equipment in our fleet. It's amazing how many miles they rack up going to the various incidents, whether it's a life safety issue of somebody suffering from a heart attack or whether it's a structure fire. These engine companies get out there and they're very well used. So your vote does matter. There's clearly an election on April 7th, but there is the opportunity to vote sooner than that. As you can see on the left at Anchorage City Hall, you can vote from March 23rd to April 6th. Lusac Library also has hours that you can see there. The Chugach Eagle River Senior Center, those are all places that you can vote early. And then there's absentee voting sites on Election Day, both at the University of Alaska Anchorage, at the Student Union, and at the Anchorage International Airport. So typically these elections are not the highest turnout elections. With a mayor's race involved this time, we'll probably see a little bit more voter turnout, but I really hope that folks, with all the opportunity for early voting, all the opportunity to vote at different places on Election Day, that you'll not miss that opportunity to support your community and support the investment that you've already made in our wonderful infrastructure. So with that, that concludes my presentation, and thank you very much, and I'll look forward to questions at the end. Thanks.